Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going without the fairy lights today because it's broad daylight and also they keep falling down and I'm getting really annoyed about it. Don't know if you can see that, just a bit of sticky tape on there. Yeah, I need to think of a better way to put the lights up. But anyway, I'm just here to talk about something musical today. It's a bit of a quick one. I want to talk about the Pussycat Dolls and their reunion and specifically Melody not being there. Now, I think by now we've all seen that video, I think it's from the 2006 American Music Awards, where the Pussycat Dolls are performing, there's just like the five of them, and then suddenly, like out of nowhere, Melody just like comes running in towards like the final chorus of Buttons, and then she's doing all these vocal runs, she's like doing the most, and Nicole looks absolutely furious. I might link to it below. I tweeted about it, and so I think it's in a thread somewhere. But anyway, Nicole looks absolutely furious, and Melody completely upstages the performance. And it's a funny one because Melody is a really, really good singer in my opinion. Like, she's been a standout in a lot of Pussycat Dolls songs, but in that particular live performance, it wasn't quite it. Like, her vocals weren't there, the runs were a little bit off key, but nevertheless, as a concept, I liked it, and it's just absolutely hilarious. But basically, that moment and Nicole Scherzinger's reaction to it, pretty much sums up everything that was wrong with the Pussycat Dolls. So I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with the history of the Pussycat Dolls, and it was pretty much quite clear from the beginning, once they came out with all of their songs, that really was about Nicole. And that's a bit of a problem because Nicole is not the only person in the group that can sing. But the way the lines were arranged and the way the videos are filmed and even the way the album covers are photographed, it makes it look like, it's her. It's Nicole and the Pussycat Dolls, which is, it's not what it is. She's not Diana Ross, okay, first of all. I think she's a fine singer. I like her voice. I really enjoyed some songs in her solo career. From what I've seen on Twitter, her solo career didn't really do well in the US, but over in the UK, she had multiple top fives. Some of my favorites, Poison, Wet, Right Here, the version with or without 50 Cent, I really, really liked. And to be fair, there's this one Pussycat Dolls song which was made for the Pussycat Dolls, but there's also a version with just Nicole. And to be perfectly honest, they're pretty much the same. In terms of the vocals, the sound is a little bit different. It's called Baby Love, and it's actually a really good song. I just think it's funny how in both versions, it's pretty much just a Nicole Scherzinger song. So some Pussycat Dolls songs I really, really liked. I mean, obviously Beep, for me, that was the first one I ever heard, and it really reminds me of a specific time in my life. And it doesn't really come on, but every time I listen to it, I'm just like taken back to that, And one of my favorite songs as well is What You Think About That, which, featuring Missy Elliott, Pussycat Dolls song, female empowerment, kind of like in the same veins as like Ciara's Like a Boy or Beyonce's If I Were a Boy. It's like, well, you can do it. What if I was doing what you do? Talking to a male love interest. And I did like Melody's vocals in that. When she was allowed to have vocals, when she was doing the vocal runs and kind of the ad-libs and the tell me in the background, it really brought something extra to the song, and it added a bit of texture and a bit of flavor. And that's what happened in Buttons as well. Like, I really liked her vocal runs in that, when they were on point in the track, not in that live performance where she upstaged Nicole. And I just really think like the group benefited from having her in there because she has like a kind of richness of sound. She has a really nice vocal. I really like the sound of it. And for example, like imagine the song Stick With You, which is a really, really good Pussycat Dolls song. Like, I love it. It's very pop R&B. It's very sweet. Nicole Scherzinger completely runs that song. Now imagine someone with Melody's vocal range, with Melody's vocal tone, with the very R&B kind of classic sound, singing that. It would have been incredible. And we got a taste of this with this song called Space, which is by Melody Thornton. So this is a song that was on the second and actually the most recent Pussycat Dolls album, Doll Domination. and unfortunately was only relegated to like I think a North America bonus CD disc 2 version of the album or something like that. So it's a song called Space. What they did with the like a tiny part of this album is they allowed some of the other girls to sing, like to have the whole song. So it's kind of a bit annoying because it's a song sung by Melody Thornton, but its official title and like registered title is Space, introducing Melody Thornton by the Pussycat Dolls. I would very much advise to check it out, and I'm actually going to link it below in the description of this video. So thematically, Space by Melody Thornton is kind of like NASA by Ariana Grande, where she's using NASA and she's using space and the universe as a metaphor for wanting space from a person. It's just in this song, Melody is the Pete Davidson in the situation. So she's the one where she's with a guy, I assume, and he's saying, you know, I want some space. She's like, you want space? I'll give you space. Be careful what you wish for, that sort of thing. So it's a really interesting metaphor. Obviously, it's not like one that's never been used before, but it's really interesting, and I really liked that song. And the way she delivered the lines and the way the vocals just come out of the song, I just think like it's just a taste of what we could have got if she hadn't been held back in the Pussycat Dolls. And it's a bit of a shame that with the solo careers, the rest of the girls haven't really had a chance to shine. Kimberly Wyatt was on this one song that I know of with this British rapper called Agro Santos, called Candy. I mean, it's an alright pop song. It's pop, EDM, rap, I don't know, something like that, a mixture of all of those things. And it's an alright song. It is very missable, and also Kimberly Wyatt's vocals don't really get a chance to shine in the song. She's really just on the chorus, and she does a weird voice, so it's not really singing like in the way that we would, you know, expect it to be. And I just think really Melody's solo career could have gone differently if A, you know, she'd been given a chance to shine first within the Pussycat Dolls, and B, she had really good management around her, so she could have leveraged kind of that idea of being known from the Pussycat Dolls into a career. But I partially think because she wasn't really allowed to sing much, there wasn't really much to work with that much, really. And Melody has had an interesting career ever since. So she's seems to be mostly based in the UK at the moment. She's been on like a lot of reality shows. And yeah, she just seems like a genuinely quite nice person. I mean, I really liked her when I saw her on Celebs Go Dating. Like, she was just really funny, like, always cracking jokes and just being like, you know, showing a personality that seems, you know, like someone fun, someone you like to hang out with. And I think that kind of makes it doubly hard, because if this is like genuinely how she is, it's more of a shame that she hasn't been able to kind of realize her potential when it comes to singing. Now, I'm not kind of trying to poo-poo like her career or like what she's doing, and maybe she likes going on reality shows, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like we could have had like another great vocalist, like a really good pop R&B like vocalist. And I kind of feel like there are parallels between what happened in the Pussycat Dolls and what happened with Fifth Harmony, because in the Pussycat Dolls it was very clear, as I've said, Nicole was marked out as she's the star, she's the singer, she gets the leads. And with Fifth Harmony, there was a bit more line distribution, but really it seemed like they were really trying to push Camila Cabello to be at the forefront of that group. Now, I have my own issues with her, which are beyond musical. Some of the way she's behaved online, some of the language she's used towards, you know, black people specifically. But that's a whole nother kettle of fish. The situation is Normani is the much, much better singer. But of all of the girls in Fifth Harmony, and when they've done their solo project, it's really been Camila Cabello that's been put to the forefront, rammed down everybody's throats. I mean, Havana, not even that great a song, but I couldn't stop singing it for ages. Like, it was in my head. Crying in the Club, that too. But it's like, Normani has had so many good songs recently. It's such a shame that her management isn't really doing what they should be doing. This is potentially a separate video, but I think it's relevant because we can compare Normani with Melody Thornton in the way that they're two like great vocalists that are, you know, black women that have kind of been sidelined and not really been given the kind of focus and exposure that maybe other people within their same scene group have had. So I will come on to Normani in a different video. That was just kind of a preamble to that point. I mean, Melody has had some songs. There was this one song she posted recently. I say recently, it was 3 months ago. So back in November 2019, for the first time in about 6 years, Melody Thornton posted something to her YouTube channel, and she posted a song called Love Will Return, which it's a lot different from what I would expect. I expected that a lot of her solo music would be kind of typically R&B, a little bit like Space, the song I was talking about earlier, but it was actually very cinematic, very kind of Shirley Bassey-esque, kind of, you know, Macy Gray and Ariana Grande in that song they did on Dangerous Woman, which was called Leave Me Lonely. Very like lots of strings, Bondish, like Bond-ish, like 007, not bondage. God, am I allowed to put that on YouTube? I don't know. But basically very cinematic, very nice, like stirring strings. A lot of people commented in the video that it sounds like it could be in a Quentin Tarantino movie. Actually, and her vocal range, like the tone behind her voice it's rich, like it's richer, it sounds a bit more developed, and I'm actually really excited to see what she comes out with next. I hope she has an album coming this year in 2020, and yeah, I'll be excited to follow what's going on with her. Now, if we go back to her former group, so the Pussycat Dolls obviously came back, and they have this song called React, which came out recently. I've seen the video, I've heard the song. It's just Nicole. Like, it's basically just Nicole Scherzinger. Like, there are moments in the video where there's just a single shot of her, like just Nicole, you know, dancing a little bit, and then there are other shots where she's with the girls, and they're all dancing, and I guess there's a bit of an homage to Buttons, because they have chairs in the video, and they're dancing around the chairs, but this time, instead of fire, there's like water around there. Don't know the meaning behind that necessarily. But, you know, it's a fun song, it's a nice kind of pop, danceable song, but there's a bit of soul missing, there's a je ne sais quoi that's not there, and I think Melody is the person that brought that to the group. So, you know, whereas I'd welcome, you know, more things from the Pussycat Dolls, I'm not particularly excited to see what they come out with. But when it comes to Melody, I'm actually really keeping an eye on her, because what I have heard, I've really liked. So hopefully there's going to be much more to come, and maybe 2020 is the year that she finally gets justice and she gets what she deserves in the music industry. So yeah, those were my thoughts about the Pussycat Dolls' return and Melody Thornton and what I want for her in her career. Hope you liked it. I'm going to be filming a lot more videos to do with this sort of thing, music and pop culture, because it's what I'm super interested in, and I like analysing it and kind of unpicking it and like looking for like clues and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you like this sort of thing or other things, you know, feel free to explore my channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get more videos from me. I've been Rocky TYT. See you next time. Ciao.